Good evening. Welcome to the Yorktown Central School District Board of Education meeting for April 16, 2018. Can I have a motion to go into executive session for the matters pertaining to employment history of particular individuals and tenure review?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Can I have a motion to go back into public session?
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Yorktown Central School District Board of Education meeting for April 16, 2018. Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance led by Kaylee and Hunter, and then remain standing for a moment of silence for our armed forces and those in our Yorktown community who have lost loved ones, especially the father-in-law of Mark Grote, the grandfather of Tara Gallery, the father-in-law of Maureen Gallery, the mother of Allison Armstrong, the mother-in-law of Rich Armstrong, the father-in-law of Fran O'Connor, and the mother of Jerry Muccelli, and former CTA Michelle Calabasto.
Pledge allegiance.
Dr. Hatter, this is our most crowded night ever. Well, it's up to you.
Okay, welcome. This is a great crowd. Welcome to our students from Brookside. Welcome to our students from Yorktown High School. It's great to have both groups here this evening. The three themes for our good news this year have been focused on ESTEAM, the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, and Principal's Choice. So the principals had the opportunity to select one topic as well. This evening, we're joined by third graders from Brookside School, and their presentation will focus on the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, specifically Goal 12, Sustainability, Responsible Consumption, and Production. This presentation is a strong example of the E in ESTEAM. And at this time, before I welcome Ms. Ammerling to the podium, I would just like to acknowledge all of the Brookside faculty and staff who are here tonight. If you can just stand up, be recognized. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to turn the presentation over to Brookside Principal, Ms. Ammerling.
Thank you, Dr. Hatter, and forgive me if I'm going to repeat just a little bit of what you mentioned. But good evening, Dr. Hatter, Ms. O'Shea, Mr. Cole, Ms. Carbone, Mr. Magnani, and Board of Education trustees. Brookside is happy to be here tonight with many of our wonderful third grade students who, under the direction of Mrs. Anna Fazio, our enrichment specialist, has spent time in examining the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal number 12 for responsible consumption and production. This was a really exciting unit for our students as it focused on sustainability as well as the principles of ESTEAM. While you will hear more about this from Mrs. Fazio and our students, I do want you to be aware that there was a very strong empathy piece and component here where our students came to understand the difficulties and struggles to access water in other areas around the world, specifically in Ethiopia. Our students are terrific, and I thank them and our wonderful parents. Thank you all for being here tonight. It is a big crowd. And now I would like to introduce our wonderful teacher, Mrs. Fazio, to begin tonight's presentation.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for coming, and thank you for my colleagues for your support. It was really wonderful. Boys and girls have been working really hard in the sustainability project, and they've been learning about the scarcity of water, most particularly about the people of Ethiopia. They were exposed to the understanding of the UN Sustainability Goals, which they will talk more about, and they experienced the understanding of the hardships in accessing water through these Google expedition glasses and videos, which you're going to come to know a little bit more about. They thought it was the coolest thing, this virtual reality. And I must give thanks to Amanda Burns and Michael Tantalos, who also helped with us. They also, from this and experiencing this, they developed this empathy in just watching these short videos, which you will come to see, and looking at these virtual reality scenes on these goggles. And they started to think about this and started to say we need to help others, and it started to also have them think about what they can do right in their backyard, literally in our backyard. So they started to evaluate their own water usage. They took a journal home and they started to calculate things at home, how much water they used. And they began to problem solve and create their own models, which you will check to see, just using recyclable materials and thinking out of the box. As you can see, things are in the box. Created models and designs working together to collect water for our Brookside garden, which will be something that we will continue working on. And then they also will lead in a campaign for our Brookside Earth Day in saving our water project, which they will continue in doing so. So now I'd like to pass this on to the children, and they're going to share with you all the different things that they learned during this project as I lead with these slides.
We have come to understand how we all connect in the world. We began by being introduced to the United Nations Sustainability Goals. The goal we discussed in research was Goal 12. This is how we are responsible consumers and producers in our world. This made us think as to how we can help others, including our own Brookside garden.
We realized how we are polluting and wasting water faster than nature can recycle it.
We learned that even young children had to help get water. We learned how the lack of water impacts a child's life in learning and health. We learned that only 3% of the world's water is drinkable, and 2.5% of that is trapped in the polar ice glaciers. And that it takes 6,800 gallons of water to grow a day's worth of food for a family of 4. One thing I learned is that the people in Ethiopia have to walk hours each day just to get the water, and it's not even clean water.
We took a walk through Ethiopia using Google Expedition and YouTube. We felt empathetic for the Ethiopians who lacked clean water.
We watched videos on YouTube on how people in Ethiopia get their water every day.
Those are their school uniforms, so they come here to gather their water. The bottles you see them drinking full of that dirty water. That's what they come to fetch to take to school on the way to the
things we never knew and felt empathy for those who did not have clean water like we did. We realized that each of us took a shower for an average time of 8 minutes. This used about 16 gallons of water.
This is more than an entire family in Ethiopia uses in a day.
We learned that each of us used approximately 25 gallons of water each day from the data we collected. If we wash our hands for too long or leave the faucet running, we waste even more water.
Chemicals such as detergents, garbage, household and factory waste pollute our water, wasting even more.
Shut off your faucet when you're brushing your teeth. This will save about 5 gallons of water. Take a shower only long enough to clean up well. Stop polluting clean water. Don't flush unused medicine down the toilet, and use only environmentally safe household cleaners and detergent.
Water is ours to use, but we need to learn to use it more wisely.
This was actually what they experienced with the Google glasses, expedition glasses. And in fact, I'd like for each of you to put them on right now.
Oh, boy.
And I'm going to take you on the expedition that they went on, just a brief one, where they experienced the dry, arid land of Ethiopia. Now, if you get dizzy, just put them down. See, Mrs. Fazio liked doing the tablet. Is it on? Oh, okay, so what I have to have you do is open up the tablet. In fact, maybe the boys and girls can help. Can I have Heather, Erica, go help? And can you go help? Can you go help? Have them assist. Can you go help? Can you go help? And go help. And go help another. Do we have another person? Hunter, go another. Okay, and go ahead. Okay. All right, so you're going to open them up.
Oh, did I do the wrong one?
You have to open up the goggles. See, they're pretty fast with it. We're good? Okay. So now what you're experiencing is what they saw. We saw these, we saw the indigenous groups of Ethiopia. They saw the 6 different scenes. Are you seeing it or not?
It's downloading.
Oh. So they saw the 6 different scenes from this particular one. They saw another one. We also compared it to other cultures such as Iceland that has lots of water. And so we made comparisons to that. And they were able to then problem solve, how can we figure out different ways in which that we can, the kids were thinking, how can we get water when we don't have water? What are the different ways we can do that? How can we restore it? Is it still downloading?
It says pause. I have students.
You have it?
I have pause.
You have pause. Yeah, let's see if we give you this one.
He's got pause too. Make it work.
Try this one. Got it? You can look up, you can look down, and what happens is you can go through it, they experience it, and I can be pointing to certain things, and I would read different facts. And at times, I would pause it like that, and I would ask them to stop, and we would ask questions and discuss. I might take you to a different part. For example, this is the market area. So that's just a brief little expedition, and all the children, eventually we're going to get all the children to do this. So now we have experts to help us in all the classrooms. You know what? It's difficult for me to see it too. When I go on those rides, I get dizzy, but it's really great. What I'd like to do now is the children would like to share with you their projects and explaining how they came up with their ideas and explain the different things as to how they would capture the water for our garden. So boys and girls, can I have you join in front of or on the side of?
Yep. So Ms. Fazio, we can go up to see the project?
Please come on up to see their projects.
Okay, boys and girls, that was wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing your beautiful projects with us. So, Mrs. Ammerling, I'm just going to turn the program back over to you.
Thank you. I hope that everybody enjoyed the presentation. I wish you all had the opportunity to see and look through the Google goggles. It's really incredible learning where you can take children right on that journey at any place across the world and really have that experience. And they had wonderful projects. They have very creative ideas, and we can't wait to use some of these to go back and to really water and sustain our own garden at Brookside. I did want the children to introduce themselves. We know that we're so proud of them. Thank you to the parents for coming this evening. I know you are so proud as well, and we certainly want to recognize them by having them introduce themselves and share what class they're in.
My name is Zoe, and I am in Miss McAleer's class.
My name is James, and I'm in Miss McAleer's class.
My name is Owen, and I am in Miss McAleer's class.
My name is Charlie, and I'm in Miss McAleer's class.
My name is Julian, and I'm Miss Purple, and I am in Miss Purple's class.
I am Mason, and I'm in Miss Purple's class.
I'm Emma, and I'm in Miss Purple's class. I'm Sasha, and I'm in Miss Purple's class.
I'm Chaz, and I'm in Miss Dodona's class.
I'm Hunter, and I'm from Miss Dodona's class.
I'm Erica, and I'm in Mrs. Spina's class.
My name is Heather, and I'm in Miss Spina's class.
I'm Eamon, and I'm in Miss Spina's class. My name is Daya, and I'm in Miss Spina's class. My name is Sarth, and I'm in Miss Concepcion's class.
My name is Isabella, and I'm from Miss Concepcion's class.
My name is Eduardo, and I'm in Miss Concepcion's and Mr. Brooks's class.
My name is Kaylee, and I'm in Miss Concepcion's class.
My name is Travis, and I'm in Miss Dodona's class.
My name is Christian, and I'm from Miss Dodona's class.
Thank you, boys and girls, and thank you to everyone for having us here this evening. It was really exciting for us.
Wonderful. So at this point, if it's okay with the board, I'd like to just take a quick 5-minute recess. The children have bedtimes, and we should be respectful of that. So we'll take just a quick 5-minute recess, and then we are going to return to honor our wonderful Yorktown High School students.
We're going on to our next presentation, which is from the high school, Dr. Hatter.
Yeah. The high school of any district is the flagship of a school district, and we have some of the most amazing students in the region, in the state, in the world leading our high school forward. There are so many wonderful things happening at our high school. And as I look out at our high school students, they're just such an impressive group, and we're going to be honoring some of them this evening, and it's our privilege and our pleasure to honor our high school students this evening. I'd like to turn the program over to Yorktown High School Principal, Mr. DeGennaro.
Better get this fixed.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Hatter and Mrs. O'Shea, Mr. Cole, Mrs. Carbone, our board president, and of course our school board. Such an honor to be here tonight. I have many wonderful nights we celebrate. This is kind of the beginning of our celebration run right to the end of the year and graduation with the class of 2018. I could stand here before you and tell you in my 10 years as principal, I'm not so sure we have a more accomplished academic class as the class of 2018. They're talented academically in the classroom in a variety of ways, and I know we always talk about developing the whole child in our school district. these are the poster children for the whole child. They're just absolutely wonderful young adults with incredibly bright futures. And again, I don't think we've had a more talented, deeper class in my time at Yorktown High School. So I'm proud to have them honored with you here tonight. And I would like to invite my 3 assistant principals up to join me, Mr. Gallis, Mr. Avdek, and Mr. Miller, who will also present certificates to the group. And also recognize other people who are in attendance tonight from the high school. Mrs. Paterno, who's my right-hand person in the high school, who puts tonight together also, has a big role in it. Mrs. Servini, the teacher leader of guidance, is here with us tonight, and also one of our school psychologists, Mrs. McGannon. So a little change of plans for the class of 2018 and the parents from what I had described to you earlier tonight. Students, you'll come right down, receive a certificate here at the podium. You'll shake the hands of the high school administration and then work your way right around the inside of the table and have a chance to be applauded. And what I'd like to do is announce not only the names of each student, but also their award. For some students, they're going to receive multiple certificates because they're multiple award winners in different areas of excellence. And then we'll give each a round of applause and recognize them appropriately. So, Jim Emanuel, I'm sorry, I missed Jim Emanuel. Jim, if you can come join us also. I apologize, how could I forget you? Jim Emanuel, our Director of Alternative Programs. So we'd like to start with Class of 2018 First Decile, Matthew Barbuti. One more round of applause for Matthew being a good sport. Being the leader isn't easy. Class of 2018 First Decile, Deva Bear. As Deva works her way up, also a 2018 National Merit Scholarship commended student. Jake Cariello, Class of 2018 First Decile. Joseph Sobrario, 2018 National Merit Competition finalist. Macy Drezik, class of 2018, first decile. Hunter Embry, class of 2018, first decile. Kira Frawley, class of 2018, first decile. So I have a couple awards here for our next recipient. Jessica Gertis, class of 2018, first decile, and 2018 National Merit Scholarship commended student. Michelle Gross, class of 2018, first decile. Michelle Idrovo, class of 2018, first decile. Two awards for our next recipient. Connor Kelsh, class of 2018, first decile, and 2018 National Merit Competition finalist. Two awards also for the next recipient, Pranav Krish, class of 2018 first decile, and 2018 National Merit Scholarship commended student. Brett Makar, Con Edison Scholar Athlete Award recipient. Two awards, Amanda Montgomery, class of 2018 first decile, 2018 National Merit Scholarship commended student. Caitlin Newbell, class of 2018 first decile. Three certificates. Ellen O'Callahan, class of 2018 valedictorian, first decile, National Merit Scholarship commended student. Alyssa Pelkey, class of 2018, first decile. Two awards, Marley Pincus, class of 2018 salutatorian, and class of 2018 first decile. Christopher Pinto, class of 2018, first decile. Jessica Roche, class of 2018, first decile. Emma Santini, class of 2018, first decile. Marissa Thomas, class of 2018, first decile. Julia Wurzel, class of 2018, first decile. Julia is our last award recipient. On behalf of Yorktown High School, a round of applause for everybody. Yep. To be so accomplished as a young adult and be challenged with rigorous courses, to find a level of success that they find. Parents, obviously a very proud moment of you. For you. We thank you for sending us wonderful young adults to work with every day. They're an absolute joy. To the school board and to the district office superintendents, thank you for providing all the resources, the continued support, and the vision to allow our students to be who they are and accomplish their goals and reach their potential. Our young adults in the class of 2018 that you saw before you tonight are exemplary. They have the highest level of character. They're unbelievable role models, and we have had an incredibly successful year with their leadership and the many other roles that they have in our high school. So thank you to everybody. I'm proud, and I know that everybody else is, and I speak for everyone. So thank you for having us here tonight to celebrate.
Congratulations, students. Just one more time. I've been with you for a short time, but we've already established such a wonderful connection. You're all amazing. You make us so proud. You make it fun to come to work every day. And to the parents, thank you so much for entrusting your children to us. They make us proud, and I'm sure they make you equally proud. You should be so proud of the wonderful young people that you have before you. Thank you so much. We're going to take just a very brief 5-minute recess because I know our students have a lot of homework and things that they need to attend to, so we'll take a very brief 5-minute recess. Thank you so much for attending.
We are up to public comment. Is there anybody wishing to speak on agenda-related items only? Okay, we'll move on. Superintendent's report.
So there have been so many wonderful things happening across the district. So I'll begin here quickly, and then I will move over to the podium to present the final budget presentation for this budget development cycle. But just a huge congratulations to the students in our science research program. We had 5 students who qualified for the International Science and Engineering Fair from WESF, the Westchester Putnam Science and Engineering Fair. Our robotics team is headed to Detroit for the International FRC Championship. We could not be any more proud of them than we are. Our DI teams from Crampond and the middle school have experienced tremendous success. We're so proud of them, and we wish our teams well in Tennessee at the World Championships. Congratulations to all of our winter athletes for being honored at different levels, whether it was all league, all section. There's some wonderful things happening, and it's just absolutely great to be able to celebrate the achievements of our students. It's a very proud time for us here in the district. At this point, I'm just going to make my way over to the podium so that I may present to you the final budget presentation. So I'll begin with a very brief quote, and it's a quote from Aristotle that I used during the first budget presentation that I submitted to the board and to the community. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, therefore, is not an act but a habit. I also believe that the story of the budget, or the budget tells the story of our district. We can learn a lot about a school district by seeing what goes into their school budget, what goes into the development of that school budget, what do we value, what do we choose to invest in. And that begins with our 2020 vision plan. And our 2020 vision plan is centered around the idea of cultivating empathy in our students, building on creativity and innovation, promoting critical thinking and authentic inquiry, and providing opportunities for our students to nurture their ambitions. Now, Yorktown has experienced some wonderful accomplishments. There's excellence evident at every turn here in the district. Our instructional program is top-notch, and the outcomes of our students are competitive with other top-notch districts across the county, across the state, and across the country. Students generously volunteer their time to raise monies to support charities. They're service-oriented. They invest in others, and they bring a friend along for the ride. Our eSTEAM approach positions our students to lead the world forward. We offer more than 70 co-curricular activities across our middle and high school, dozens of service opportunities, and there are 60 interscholastic athletic teams with our students being honored in so many different areas. So I shared this during my opening presentation, and that's a scene outside of the Vatican in 2005 when Pope Benedict was announced. And that's the same scene outside of the Vatican in 2013 when Pope Francis was announced. So to say that something's not happening here would be an understatement. The world has changed. And further, the world continues to change. As you look at some of the really successful companies in today's economy, you'll notice that the way we're doing business has shifted, and we must prepare our students to meet those demands as well. So in comes eSTEAM. Our approach takes empathy as the foundation of everything we do and combines the work of STEAM with it. And Yorktown has become the home of eSTEAM. In just the short time that that term has been present in our district, there have been some wonderful accomplishments. First and foremost is the growth in our practice, in our teaching practice. You see some wonderful projects taking hold. At the middle school, we saw that water filtration project that Mr. DePasquale's students did. We saw the wonderful Brookside project. We've seen some wonderfully creative projects coming out of Mohansick and Crompont in our high school. It's changing practice, it's building capacity in our students. We hosted our first FLL event, and we're looking to continue to build on that. We launched our very first FRC team. 5 of our students are finalists for the International Science and Engineering Festival. 2 students are presenting at international conferences later this month. We were selected to present our eSTEAM approach at the New York State School Boards Association this coming October, and we've received some wonderful press on our eSTEAM approach. And when we began the budget development process, we started with an essential question. We wanted to know, how would we balance the demands on our budget, and we'll speak to those demands in a moment, with the world-class education and the needs that our students deserve. So I'd like to reintroduce you to Emma. And Emma is one of 3,452 students here, and Emma's actually my guest here this evening. So Emma, I'm going to call you up here. So Emma Jones is a 5th grade student at Crompont, and Emma, you love going to school in Yorktown, is that right?
Yes.
All right. So what I'm going to do is, Emma, I'm going to have you come right over here, and if you want to tell our Board of Education what you love about coming to school in Yorktown, going to school in Yorktown.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Emma Jones, and I'm a 5th grader at Crompont School. I am so happy to be a Yorktown school student. I loved every school and every teacher I ever had because I am lucky enough to have the very best teachers anywhere in the universe. Last year, I loved my classroom, my classmates, and my teachers, Mrs. Burns and Mr. Ellis, so much that when the last day of school came, I couldn't stop crying. My teacher told my mom that I was crying so hard that she almost took the bus home with me because she was so worried. And I wasn't crying because I was happy summer had come. I was crying because I loved my school so much that I didn't ever want to leave. And now I'm probably going to cry again this year because I have to leave Crompont, and I really don't ever want to. I'm a little scared about how much I'm probably going to cry because Crompont has been like home to me. Why do I love Yorktown schools so much? I love it because I discovered that I am an actress by being in school plays. I love it because I discovered that I could sing from my first concert in kindergarten, when Mrs. Berger had her holiday concert, to when I made the high C's with Mrs. Celestri. I loved it because my science teachers come up with the coolest science projects that help me learn things, like using candy soaked in different things to find out the properties of matter. I love it because Mrs. Sano, # the best math teacher ever, has taught me math when I thought I would never be able to learn it. I love it because I learned social studies by dressing up like a colonial person or pretending to be in the Revolutionary War during the encampment. I love it because Mrs. Concepcion at Brookside told me that I was her most creative, imaginative writing student ever, and it helped me that he believed that I was a good storyteller. I loved it because I have an art teacher who helped me turn its pictures in my mind into things I made with my own hands. I love it because I never played an instrument before I learned the recorder at Brookside and the flute at Crompont. I love it because vice principals like Mr. Chaffee greet me every day with a smile that makes me happy. And principals like Dr. Roberts make it seem like I made her day when I bring her pictures I've drawn. She runs the whole school so that we always feel like I'm at home and we can always count on her. I love it because the lady that serves me lunch sometimes greets me by singing, "You Are My Sunshine." I love it because Dr. Hatter is my buddy. He's funny and he's nice and he talks to me when I see him. He takes such good care of all the schools like he's been here forever. I love it because volunteers on the PTA, moms, dads, and neighbors help the events so our school days feel extra special. In the end, I love Yorktown schools because of the people that I make it safe, happy, wonderful place to be. People give encouragement, love, support, kindness, besides teaching in classes so that students can learn everything they need to know. I have trouble because I have a learning disability, but no teacher has never made me feel I couldn't learn anything I wanted to. That's why Yorktown is special, because the people who are doing every kind of job make sure that every student gets what they need. I know someday I'll be able to go out into the world and chase my dreams because I was taught everything I need to know here first.
Wow, Emma, that was wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much. And now Emma had so many things going on tonight, so you're welcome to stay. But Emma, if it's close to bedtime, you can definitely go too, and that would be okay. And this is Emma's brother. He's also picked, oh no, there you are. That's a younger one, right. Okay, so there are 3 altogether, yes. So that was at the science fair, yeah, at Crompond. All right, well, thank you so much, Emma. You spoke so well.
Well, you could forget your presentation. She's done. She finished it. You can't beat that.
I was about to say that may be the best presentation I've ever given, and I didn't even speak. So that was hands down a testament to Emma's speaking. As we design programs and build a budget, we design programs for Emma and the 3,451 other students in the district, and we pride ourselves on educating the whole child. And Emma spoke to all the different areas that she's experienced success and growth in our district, and that's because of the budget development process that we employ. And it's a rigorous process, and we have children at the forefront of that process, and our board has the children at the forefront of that process. It's everything from academics to character education to the social emotional development of our children, nurturing creativity and innovation, community service, giving back, athletics, co-curricular clubs, and the fine and performing arts, in which Emma has excelled in all areas. And in the words of Aristotle, educating the mind without educating the heart really is no education at all. Now, there are some challenges as we build the budget. So that's the goal, is to be able to build all the programs that make Emma the person that she is, and that make all of our students the wonderful, unique individuals that they are. But there are some items that pull on the budget that make it a little bit challenging to develop. First and foremost is enrollment. We received 64 new students in the months of July and August of 2017 coming into this school year, and those students come with needs and programs that we must employ to make sure that our students are all given the best opportunities possible. We're facing rising pension costs to the net tune of $680,000, rising health insurance costs to the tune of $435,000. And there are some commitments that we've made in this budget development process. First of all, class sizes will be maintained at or below the Board of Education recommended guidelines. Our 18-19 budget ensures that all of our existing programs remain intact, and that was important to us. It provides for additional support positions as necessary to meet student needs, and those positions are listed here. It also speaks to contingency resources to offset some enrollment growth. We had, as I mentioned, 64 new students come in over the summer, and with some of the development and housing turnover that's going on here in Yorktown at the present time, we're not sure if we'll have another 64 new students or how many more new students will come through, and we need to plan for that. And we're perpetually monitoring kindergarten enrollments as well on both sides of town. We're adding a freshman boys soccer and freshman girls volleyball team. In 2017-18, this current school year, there was increased interest in those two sports. That resulted in 50 students being cut from these teams. 50 students. So for a modest cost, we can give those students a home. And it also builds our capacity in esteem. And specifically, we're looking at new course proposals at Yorktown High School. Some really exciting and energizing courses. Investments in coding, robotics, feeder programs in the earlier grades for those programs. Upgrade our facilities to really reflect what an esteem environment looks like and feels like. And investments in staffing and materials to advance our esteem work. People need to deliver programs. It's wonderful to have the programs, but you need people who can deliver those programs as well, and that's where those investments certainly come in. Now, our budget is allocated in the following way. We're a people-driven industry. It's our people that we invest in, and 74% of our budget is spent on salaries and benefits. The remainder is dispersed across contractual and principal and interest, and then with modest distributions to equipment, interfund transfers as well. There's also, on the ballot this May, you'll notice a line for the Capital Reserve Fund, and we are seeking voter authorization to remove $4 million from that fund. Voter authorization is required to establish the fund, which the voters of Yorktown established. They approved that last spring. We're looking for voter authorization to remove funds so that we can begin to put that plan into place and get moving on some projects that are really important in our buildings. A capital reserve fund has so many benefits. The one big benefit is it eliminates the need for the district to borrow money. It eliminates interest costs and bonding costs, and there is no impact to the budget. I just really want to emphasize that to those who are watching this. There is no impact to the budget when we withdraw funds from the Capital Reserve Fund. Some of the projects are listed here on the screen. They include the Brookside Servery, Mohansik's Nurses Suite. Just needs to be increased in size. It hasn't been updated in quite some time, and we've had some increased enrollment. So we would need a facility that can accommodate the increased enrollment. Crampon corridor lighting and flooring to brighten up the space, the Mildred E. Strang Middle School E-Steam Lab, and updating that facility to accommodate the growing needs of the program. The cooling tower at the middle school is beyond its useful life expectancy, so we'll be investing in that as well. Second floor air conditioning. If anyone has ever been on the high school second floor during 3 or 4 months of the school year, 2 on the front end, 2 on the back end, the air doesn't move up there. It's a very uncomfortable place for students, and we're hoping to rectify that with the capital reserve investment. And we're looking to upgrade the original bleachers in the gymnasium. And if you've been in the gymnasium lately, you'll certainly acknowledge that the bleachers could use some updating, and that facility can use some updating. Now, with all that said, we're proposing a budget-to-budget decrease of 0.24%. And we're proposing across-the-board tax rate decreases in Yorktown, Newcastle, and Cortland. So I believe that we were successfully able to answer that question of how do we design an instructional program that meets the needs of our children and is respectful and sensitive to the taxpayers. We're going to meet the needs of our students. This budget provides for that. And it also provides for a tax rate decrease across the board. With regard to our budget development process, this evening is the superintendent's budget presentation to the board. At the next Board of Education meeting, it is anticipated that the board will adopt the budget on April 30th. There'll be a budget hearing on May 7th, and then certainly the budget vote and trustee election. In the interim, there will be some other events that will be happening. I'll be presenting the budget to our faculty and staff in early May, and also in early May, I will be holding an evening presentation at Crampon School to anyone who doesn't have children in the school district, who does not have access to the Board of Education meetings or my newsletters necessarily. So we've reached out to the different preschools in town, we're reaching out to different civic organizations, and we're inviting come one, come all to hear a little bit more about eSTEAM and to hear about our 2018-19 school budget. These are all of the presentations that have already taken place to this point, of course, with this evening being the superintendent's budget presentation. All of the presentations have been posted to our website, so if you're interested in accessing any one of the past presentations, you're welcome to do that. You're encouraged to do that. And if you have any questions, you can certainly submit those to us. Just a reminder, the vote and trustee election is on Tuesday, May 15th, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., and the polling location is at Mohansic Elementary School. And at this point, we would welcome any questions if you have them.
Do you want to let little Miss Emma go? Thank you, Emma.
Thanks so much, Emma.
We're going to have a little talk about the budget now.
No, we don't know.
Good night.
How do I know it? I didn't know when to plug it in.
Yep.
Pay for it. Could you take it over? Thank you, and thank you to Emma, because, you know, she made your whole presentation. Sorry about that.
Best part.
Totally upstaged you. Okay, so we can have questions about the budget tonight, and then I'm assuming at the next meeting before we adopt it. So this is now officially the board's budget, and we get to ask questions and do what we want. So, Mike, I know you had a couple of questions. Do you want to start?
Sure. Tom, I was looking at the review in the line-by-line budget. I had a couple of questions. The first one is with regard to the, looks like about a 20% reduction in fuel oil expense. Can you just speak to why we're confident that we can afford to do that?
Well, for two primary reasons. Number one, the price of the commodity itself has been stabilized at a lower level. And so that's been priced in there. That's one piece of the reduction. The other thing is that the capital improvements that have been approved by the board and implemented over the last several years with regard to more efficient boiler systems and replacements of windows and temperature control systems, they've all had a very positive effect on mitigating the increase in cost for energy use. Both of those things are reflective of next year's budget reduction.
And I also noticed that we're still keeping a contingent position in there, or
Yes, we have a
reserve of
$50,000
$50,000
contingent,
overage.
which is a hedge against a spike in the price of oil, yes.
Okay, thanks.
Rashmi, did you have any questions?
Yeah, I have a question. Tom, would you be able to tell us, or Ron, how the tax rates, the decreases are different based on, for Newcastle versus Yorktown?
Sure. The overall tax levy itself is relatively unchanged. It's up slightly, but the assessed valuations in the town of Yorktown have expanded, which means there are more taxable parcels in the 18-19 school year than there were in the 17-18 school year. Hence, you see the reduction in the tax rate for existing taxpayers, because there are more people participating and more lots participating in supporting the levy.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sure.
No, actually, I had the same question as Rashmi, so I'm good, thank you.
Lisa?
I have no questions. Thank you for the presentation.
Okay, I have a couple of questions. How many retirements did we have this year?
Just teacher retirements? I think we got 8 and possibly one more.
And then, how many contingent teaching positions, or the overall contingency positions in the budget?
We have 5 in total,
5.
yes.
And that's what we had last year, and that's what kind of saved us when we had the increase, the unknown increase over the summer, was those contingency positions helped us not have to overdraw our budget.
That's
correct?
correct,
Okay.
yes.
And we've held 5 contingent positions for many years now. That's
We
kind of a
actually,
norm.
we had, at one point, we were at 3 during the declining years, and then as we saw the leveling off of enrollment, we increased it to 5, and it looked like a good idea at the time, and it panned out that way.
And normally, when you have a retirement, it's normally a higher end, and we tend to be able to budget at a lower increase, a lower staff member, because
Yes,
normally it's not as experienced a teacher coming in.
Each retirement, on average, saves the school district, based on our budget assumptions, about $35,000.
Okay. Is there anything in the budget here that's noteworthy that we should let the community know? I mean, other than it's...
Well, I'll let Dr. Hatter and Mrs. O'Shea expand on the eSTEAM investments, as well as the investments in support services for certain segments of our population.
So there are 2 positions for eSTEAM instruction. So we have this wonderful thing here, a wonderful program, and we need people to deliver the program. So we believe that 2 positions will be sufficient. It's certainly a good starting point. We'll evaluate from there. And the programs also come with supplies and materials. So we haven't made a huge investment in eSTEAM because I think we were familiarizing ourselves with the program, with what the needs would be. And I think after a year of implementation, we do have an understanding of how that looks. So we're prepared to make some strategic investments, both in personnel and materials, and upgrades to the facilities for the coming school year. So that's where those monies have been allocated to in our budget. With regard to support, Lisa will answer that piece.
So when we're looking to support all of our learners in the district, we have noticed that our students with disabilities are needing some more supports than we currently have in place, as well as our general population. So we are looking for an additional social worker in the district. That the addition of a full-time social worker will allow each of our primary buildings to have a full-time social worker, which right now they currently split a social worker at 0.5 each. We are looking to bring on some additional occupational therapy time, 0.5. That's to meet some mandated needs with one of our classes moving from Crampon to the middle school. We're also looking for a special ed reading teacher to help support some of those IEP mandated services, as well as a part-time speech therapist. And we think that with that full complement of staff, we'll be able to more completely meet the growing needs of some of our student populations.
And the other noteworthy piece are the two athletic teams. The only other noteworthy piece are the two athletic teams. We had 50 students who were cut from a sport, and that eats at me. So if we can correct that moving forward, and we do think the interest will be there. I spoke to our athletic director, Mr. Barrett, and we do believe that the interest and need will be there moving forward. So it's great to give those students a place to call home.
Anything more?
Yeah, one more. If it's a question or a comment. Tom, I did notice that our contribution to BOCES administrative cost is up over 6% this year. Do we have, other than obviously not approving their budget when it comes out, do we have any other direct impact on that, or anything we can do to help contain costs there?
Well, there is the cost element of it, and then there's the allocation basis of the cost to the 18 component districts. So the BOCES overhead costs are their administrative costs for the administration of all the BOCES programs. But the costs can change also on the basis by which they allocate them, the overall cost to the districts, which is a hybrid approach, but primarily based on the assessed valuations of the properties in that school district as compared to the whole. And as we just got finished talking about, our property valuations have increased. So a portion of that increase of our cost is related to that as well. But the short answer to your question is, there's not a great deal you can do about that. Unless you want to, with other school districts, talk to them about their overall administrative cost. Some of their costs are legacy costs to their retirees as well, when you look down and when you drill down into the numbers. And
I guess they're not under any similar constraint as we are in terms of how they can increase our allocation. We have a 2% levy increase.
The component districts vote.
Yeah.
So their constituency are all the school districts, of which you were 1/18th. So as we have our taxpayers to answer to, they answer to the districts that utilize the services.
Okay.
I wonder if moving forward, we can't ask for, a 5 or 10 year look back, what they've increased it every year for the last 5 or 10 years. Because maybe we can't do anything this year, but maybe we as all the districts say, wait a minute, if we got to contain our costs, maybe you need to start to.
And, like Tom said, I don't know if it's necessarily their costs that increased, but our allocation might have. I'm sure it's a combination of the two.
Some of it is their cost. For instance, if you remember not long ago, each component district was allocated an amount of money to provide BOCES for capital improvements. Those improvements were made, and we paid with cash. Some had to borrow money, if you remember. We paid $1.2 million over 3 years. Some of the increase in the BOCES cost is related to the fact that they're doing what we do here. They're putting money aside every year now to maintain those capital improvements, and that's part of the increase that's in there as well. I don't want to speak for BOCES officials, but that was one change that I saw that was something that was our input to them when they were doing the capital projects, that you need to follow up with maintenance on an annual basis, and they did allocate a good deal of money towards that purpose.
But one thing about BOCES and the individuals who we work with over at PNW who develop the budget is that they're very sensitive to the component districts. And if we go to them with some feedback about the increase that they presented to us, I'm sure they'll exercise great sensitivity and meet our concerns with sensitivity and maybe give us some answers as to why it's a little higher this year and how can we improve that going forward. So they're very sensitive to the component districts, and we'll certainly bring that back.
I think that would be a good message. Thanks.
We have one other question. We have a class moving from Crampon into the middle school. That's a new class, similar to when we were moving the life skills through the district. We're now moving another set of students like that into a different type of a setting. So there's work to be done in the middle school to be accepting of those students, I mean, as structurally.
Yes, so the plan has been in place. Mr. Rosen has worked with Murray Horowitz and Dennis Verbois to be ready for the arrival of a different student population. This is our applied behavior analysis class that has been moving up with us since kindergarten. So each time the program moves to a building, we do outfit a room so that it is appropriate, and the plans are in place to do that for this upcoming school year.
Terrific, and everything is in the budget that will, okay. All right, anybody else have any other questions? How do we want to work this? Do we want, if we review it, to compile questions between now and the next meeting, hold them for the next meeting, or give them to, send them to me? All right, so if we have questions, we'll send them on so that Tom and Ron can answer them at the next meeting before we hopefully adopt the budget?
Yes.
Okay, and you're taking it on the road soon?
Yes,
What?
yeah, there'll be a series explaining.
Yep.
Just want to take a moment to say thank you to our administrative team and our larger cabinet for attending tonight and taking time out of your busy schedules to be here to hear the budget presentation. We certainly appreciate everything that you do. All of your support in the district is invaluable, and you being here tonight certainly is just one additional reflection of your commitment. So thank you all for being here this evening.
Thank you, okay. We can move on. Okay, we have personnel. Okay, where am I? All right, upon recommendation of the superintendent, a motion that the following be approved. Under certified personnel, we have a teaching assistant change in hours, we have 2 part-time temporary appointments, we have our after-school ENL program title grants, that was just extended for a few days because of snowstorms. We have regular substitute appointments, a teaching stipend, other compensation volunteers, and an unpaid leave of absence. Under classified personnel, we have volunteers. We have the resignation of Daniel O'Keefe, a cleaner, and the resignation for purpose of retirement of Tommy Morrissey, who is a long-standing custodian in the district.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Just a quick word of congratulations to Tommy Morrissey for his retirement. 35 years plus of service to the district. That's just a tremendous, tremendous commitment to the Yorktown schools. He'll be missed, and we thank him for his time here.
Okay. I can't imagine being anywhere for 35 years. Wow. Okay. Reorganization date. Resolved upon recommendation of the superintendent, the board sets the 2018-19 organization meeting date for Monday, July 9th, 2018 at 6 p.m. in the Mildred E. Strang Middle School.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, we're up to policies. First reads, the board will conduct first reads on the following policies. We have 9290 staff attendance at conferences and workshops, 9430 staff co-curricular assignments and allocations, and 645 disclosure of wrongful conduct. Does anybody have any questions or concerns with any of these?
I have a question on the third one, the disclosure of wrongful conduct. So in the second paragraph, it says that the wrongful conduct should be reported to the superintendent and the board or one of its officers unless the superintendent or the board is alleged to be involved in the wrongful conduct. What happens in that scenario? Where does it get reported?
We had this discussion.
Yes, we did.
Good, we spoke about it on the language.
No, it was supposed, we did have this
Yeah.
discussion, and it didn't get in there.
I thought it was the other.
Yeah, I think if it's the superintendent, it goes to the board. If it's the
Right.
board, it goes to the
That's
superintendent.
Right.
all the conversation going to, but if we never put that in, we should certainly.
Right.
Yes. Who's got those notes? You got them, Yvette?
Thanks, Yvette.
Anything else? Thank
No.
you. That's why we got you. All right, the other ones are good? All right, so we will make those corrections and run them by Margot, please? Okay. All right, business office, budget transfers. A motion to approve the following budget transfers is a whole list.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Health and welfare, a motion to approve the following contracts for health and welfare services provided to resident pupils attending non-public schools in other districts for the 17-18 school year. We have Greenberg, Somers, and Lakeland.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We have a purchasing agreement. Whereas the Yorktown Central School District pursuant to the authority granted in General Municipal Law, Section 103-16, desires to participate in the National Intergovernment Purchasing Alliance Program, and I am not going to read the rest of it. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the Board of Education of the Yorktown Central School District authorizes the district's participation in the national IPA and authorizes the Assistant Superintendent for Business or the purchasing agent to register for the national IPA program on behalf of the school district.
So moved.
Discussion?
Yep.
And Is there a cost to joining this?
No, there's not.
And so what would the benefit that would be seen from this be?
The benefit is that we access the purchasing power of a cooperative that has a nationwide reach. So we are able to reach technology, equipment, facilities, vehicles, things of that nature that has already been let out by a competitive bid by another public entity. And we're able to piggyback on the efficiencies of those bids and select items for our own use instead of competitively bidding them ourselves.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But we still have the opportunity, if we don't like those prices, to bid ourselves, or we don't have to go with this. This
No,
is
we
just
don't.
another option
It's
for
an-
us.
It's an option, yes.
And what other, well, I guess we're going to ask it on the next one. We're going to use several of these.
Ultimately, we'd like to be in 4 new cooperatives. This is one of them, yes.
And the reason for that is it expands our ability to
It
buy.
expands our horizons, and these cooperative, oftentimes the vendors we're looking for are in all of the cooperatives, and we may have a better price with the same vendor from one of the 4 cooperatives.
Would it be possible sometime midpoint next year, if we approve all of these, that we get some sort of a report on the efficiencies and the savings, if possible, so that we know how they're working?
We can certainly monetize that. However, there's also the value of time. And so that may be a little more challenging to monetize. However, we can certainly provide you as much information as we're able to with regard to any cost savings that we experience. This is not for convenience for us. This is to help us get the lowest possible price. And often when you buy in bulk, you get a better discount. So part of the appeal of joining one of these consortiums is the bulk pricing that gets offered to the consortium.
Understood. Okay. Any other questions?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? We got the other one. Whereas the Yorktown Central School District pursuant to the authority granted in General Municipal Law, Section 103-16, desires to participate in the National Joint Powers Alliance, a national purchasing cooperative organized under the laws of the state of Minnesota, authorized to enter agreements with governmental units, including public school districts in the United States. And now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Yorktown Central School District authorizes the school district's participation in the NJPA and authorizes the Assistant Superintendent for Business of the purchasing agent, or the purchasing agent, not of, to execute a participating membership agreement and a joint powers agreement with NJPA on behalf of the school district.
So moved.
Second.
So, discussion again. So we can go out of state, we're joining a cooperative in another state, and that's still okay?
Yes, we're also going to be sending you one in the near future of a huge educational cooperative out of Texas. As long as the original bids were solicited in a format that's acceptable to the Office of General Services here in New York State, and these do comply, they've been vetted through our attorneys, then we can participate in them. By the way, this is how we got our site lighting out here on this campus, through a piggyback contract through one of these cooperatives.
Okay. Anybody else? All right, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Maple Leaf. It's not a request for proposal. Resolved upon recommendation of the superintendent, the Board of Education of Yorktown Central School District hereby accepts the proposal submitted by Maple Leaf Associates, Inc. for landscaping services at the French Hill School for the period of April 1st, 2018 through November 30th, 2018. Be it further resolved that the President of the Board of Education is hereby authorized to execute an agreement with Maple Leaf Associates, Inc., with annual renewals for up to 5 years at the discretion of the Board of Education.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? External auditor, whereas the district received proposals for external auditing services pursuant to an RFP for such services, now therefore be it resolved that the district hereby accepts the proposal from R.S. Abrams and Company LLP dated April 10, 2018 for the audit of the district's financial statements for the fiscal period ending June through 2018, and be it further resolved that the board president is authorized to execute the engagement letter with R.S. Abrams and Company LP.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Rashmi, I just want to thank you and the audit committee for going through and doing this so quickly and efficiently, so thank you. Okay. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. RJT. Motion to approve the attached RJT indemnity agreement.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Just for clarification, that's the crash dummy comes to visit. A motion to approve the 2017-18 Orange Ulster BOCES letter of agreement for archival inactive storage for the climate-controlled storage of the Yorktown Central School District inactive files at a rate not to exceed $561 per month.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? A motion to approve the following tax cert by order of the Supreme Court of the State of New York held in and for the County of Westchester on the 5th day of March 2018, a school tax refund in the amount of $12,784.15 is due to Durante, Bach, and Toto PLLC for the tax years 12, 15, 16, and 17.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Tom, what's our total this year?
I apologize, we're about 155,000. Would expect it to go higher than that.
We still have that big one coming, right? Okay, thank you. Property tax report card, whereas the New York State education law requires the district prepare, approve, and make publicly available the 2018-19 property tax report card, therefore resolved, the Board of Education of the Yorktown Central School District approves this 18-19 property tax report card and authorizes the superintendent to publish it in accordance with the law.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? EPS, special education. A motion to approve the following special education placements as of April 16, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Out of district. Motion to approve the following contracts for out-of-district placements for the 17-18 school year. We have the Carafin School for the placement of one out-of-district student and the Devereaux Foundation for the placement of one out-of-student district. These are both mandated by IEPs.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? We have resolved that the Board of Education approves the terms of the second renewal and extension of settlement and release agreement involving student alt ID 4328.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Gifts, grants, and donations. A motion to accept the following gifts, grants, and donations with gratitude. To the high school, $2,000 from the Society for Science and the Public, and the Regeneron Pharmaceuticals for the STS Scholar Award, $16 from Your Cause LLC trustee for New York Life, an employee match program. Athletic Department, $19,056.87 from the Huskers Club for airfare, hotel, and travel expenses for the boys' varsity baseball trip to Florida, and $1,795 from the Husker Club for ice time practices and games for the YHS ice hockey team. At Brookside, $1,300 from the Brookside PTA for a first grade trip to Yorktown Stage, $730.88 from the Brookside PTA for a second grade class trip to the Maritime Aquarium, and $77 from the Brookside PTA for field trip assistance.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank everybody for their generosity. We are up to board comments. Lisa, would you like to start?
Yeah. First of all, Emma was fabulous. I can't even get over that. So thank you for yes, thank you for bringing her to us. The presentation by the students with the water was also amazing. We've seen another presentation earlier in the year similar to that, and it's fabulous that they're getting this global awareness. But for me, the highlight of the evening was the high school students. I've known some of those kids since they're 5 years old, and to see them walk up here all grown up, I'm just incredibly proud of them.
Yeah, I thought Brookside did an incredible job with their presentation, and afterwards I spoke to all the students, and they're so well versed, and they really understand what they did and how it impacts the environment, which is really nice to see. That's how it really all ties together. And then Mrs. Ammerling was telling me how their next step is to take it further and put signs above the faucets in the bathroom saying, you know, don't forget to turn off the water, use less water. So that's, again, how they really get it, and they know how to take it even one step further than what they've been challenged to do initially. So that's great to see. And as always, our high school students continue to impress us year after year. And it's great to see all of them up here. They're an impressive group, and Mr. DeGennaro certainly said that. And that's about it. Other than that, thank you again for the budget presentations. We appreciate all the time that went into putting the budgets together. Thank you.
So as Lisa and Cheryl said, tonight was special. We had the chance to see the youngest students from Brookside. We had Emma from Crampon, and of course we had our high schoolers who are off to great places and have a bright future. I've known Emma since she was in kindergarten, and it's such a pleasure to see her evolve into this, young lady, and she's so incredibly talented and so humble in ways that even she doesn't know. We're very proud of her, and of course our, Brooksiders and our high school students. And to Tom and to Ron, thank you for all your hard work over the last few months on the budget. I think we're in a good place, and, we look forward to May. Thank you.
Not much else to say. I mean, the students were great. Everybody acknowledged that. I always like to thank Tom and Dr. Hatter and Lisa and the rest of the administrative team for the process that they go through in putting the budget together. I know it was your first year, Ron. Excellent job. You got good guidance from Tom. So he's been doing this a long time, and we thank him for all of his efforts in helping us manage the ins and outs of the process and coming up with something that appears to expand our programs and at the same time save taxpayers money. So that's a big hat off to you. Congratulations.
I would just like to thank the staff at Brookside, because the students who got challenged, you came in this year, Ron, and you gave our staff a challenge. And you can see absolutely how the staff at Brookside, at all the schools, but Brookside, you saw it tonight, right? They accepted that challenge, and they ran with it probably further than you thought they could run this year. Those students they're always so articulate, they're wonderful, and you can see what we wind up with in 12th grade. It was nice to see the difference, the dichotomy between the early ones and where they wind up. But I'm so proud of our staff for taking the challenge and really accepting it. They're embracing the whole E-STEAM, and they're really challenging our kids, and our kids are going to benefit from it so well for that. So I thank you, I thank Lisa for all of that hard work. Deidre, thank you, because your staff was wonderful for what they did. So I thank you all for the budget, because I know that that's not easy while you're doing everything else. The three of you worked very hard on that. I think we have a good budget. I think we're very respectful of the taxpayer, and we're going to continue to grow our program, so I'm very proud of that. So I thank you for all your hard work, and you can have it.
Just to follow up on what Jackie was sharing, I do want to commend Mrs. Fazio. About 4 months ago, she and I, with some of our colleagues, went down to the United Nations, and we had an opportunity to hear students, international students from the United States, present on what they've done in regards to the sustainability goals and really how they've been creative in solving problems within their community. It was really an eye-opening experience for us, because we had started looking at the sustainability goals a couple of years ago. Tying it together this year has really brought forth such good talent. And when we did this, Anna walked away saying, I'm going to take what this conference showed me, which was all about high school students and all that they had done, and I'm going to bring it down to a manageable level to our little learners. And so she's just one of the wonderful people who are really championing a lot of this work. And so really, my hat's off to her and to all the buildings and to all the teachers who are really moving forward.
One Fine, I have to get on Emma's calendar because I have presentations May 2nd, May 9th, and a few other ones in between. So I really need Emma. She's really the crux of the presentation. Just a couple of quick announcements. Our Board of Education Tenure Recognition Night has been moved to May 21st. On June 4th, it's a really exciting Board of Education meeting. Not that they're all not exciting, but this one's especially exciting. It's our School Partner Recognition Night. We'll be recognizing all of the wonderful volunteers who help make the district just a better place for children. That's the district PTSA, the school building PTAs, the Husker Club, the First Nighters, Ask, and so all the wonderful organizations. So that'll be June 4th, and it'll be a very special night here. And then obviously June 18th is going to be wonderful as well, our anniversary and retiree recognition evening, and that's always just a wonderful night. And before we close up, Tom, I just want to thank you. Going through the budget development process, my ideas can get very big and very exciting, and with every idea I went to Tom with, Tom's response was just a very stern and somber look with a pause of a few seconds. So we sat in silence, and Tom would respond, "We can make that happen." And so Tom has always just been so accommodating and just wonderful to develop a budget with. And then Lisa, thank you, because again, my ideas can get crazy, and you have a great way of roping me in a very courteous way.
That's a nice way to put it.
So I appreciate that. And to all of our principals, to my Monday at noon team, you know who you are. Thank you for just being great sounding boards, because you hear all of the presentations before the presentations go out. So thank you all for your commitment and your work.
Terrific. So we're up to our last public comment. Anybody wishing to speak? All right, can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All those in favor? I oppose. Good night. Thank you, everyone.